The galaxy map was not wrong. It had been updated for thousands of years. Every star system had data. Every planet had a record. Every species had a name. But one area was different. One dark region. No light. No data. No history. And only one word written over it. Unknown. Commander Varric stood in the control room, staring at that part of the map. The blue light from the screen reflected on his face, but his eyes were fixed on the dark zone. Behind him, his crew stood quietly. No one liked looking at that part of space for too long. It made people feel uneasy. "That sector again, Commander?" one officer finally asked, trying to sound calm. Varric did not turn. "Yes," he said slowly. "Human space." The room became silent. Even the soft hum of the ship felt louder now. Everyone in the galaxy knew the name humans. But no one truly understood them. There were no trade routes into their space. No official meetings. No shared technology. No clear history. It was like they existed, but also didn't. "They keep to themselves," said another crew member quietly. "No," someone replied from the back. "They don't just keep to themselves. They block everyone else out." Varric finally turned around. His face was serious, but calm. "Tell me what you know," he said. The crew looked at each other. A young pilot spoke first. "Ships that go and don't come back." Another officer added, "Long-range probes fail after entering that region. Signals just stop." "And the last mission?" Varric asked. No one answered immediately. Then the communications officer slowly stepped forward. "The last official mission was over 50 cycles ago," she said. "A deep exploration fleet was sent to study human territory." "And?" Varric asked. She hesitated. The final transmission was very short. "Play it," Varric ordered. The room lights dimmed slightly as the old recording came alive. A broken voice filled the room. Static crackled in the background. "We have entered human space, systems failing. We are not alone, something is." The message cut off. Then silence. But after a few seconds, one last line appeared on the screen. "Clear. Cold. Final. Do not enter." The recording ended. No one spoke. The air felt heavy. "That message changed everything," the officer said quietly. "After that, the High Council made a law. No one enters human space. No one investigates. No one even goes near it. It became a forbidden zone," another added. "Marked as unknown on all maps." Varric walked slowly back to the main screen. His eyes returned to the dark region. Unknown. A single word, but it held fear. Mystery. And something else. Control. "Do you think humans sent that message?" Varric asked. The crew looked confused. "What do you mean?" the pilot asked. "What if that warning was not from the Lost Fleet?" Varric said slowly. "What if it was from the humans themselves?" The room went quiet again. "That would mean," the officer started, "that they didn't want anyone to enter," Varric finished. "But why?" someone asked. No one had an answer. For many years, the galaxy had chosen the easiest path. Ignore it. Avoid it. Forget it. If something is unknown, stay away. That was the rule. That was how they stayed safe. But Varric was not comfortable with that. He had spent his whole life exploring, learning, finding answers. And now, there was a question no one wanted to ask. That bothered him. "What if we are wrong?" he said suddenly. The crew looked at him. "What if humans are not dangerous?" Varric continued. "What if they are hiding something important?" "That's a risk," the officer said quickly. "A very big risk. Or a very big discovery," Varric replied. "You're talking about breaking High Council law," the communications officer said. "Yes," Varric said calmly. The word hung in the air. Heavy. Dangerous. Real. "No one who went there ever returned," the pilot said, his voice slightly shaking. "And no one knows why," Varric answered. "That's exactly the problem." He stepped closer to the screen. His hand moved slowly, zooming into the dark region. The unknown zone became larger. Closer. More real. "We are explorers," Varric said. "Not followers." The crew shifted uncomfortably. "This is not normal space," someone argued. "This is something else." "Exactly," Varric said. That's why we need to see it. Silence filled the room again. Each person felt the same thing. Fear, curiosity, and something pulling them forward. Finally, the senior officer spoke. If we do this, there is no turning back. Varric nodded. I know. And if something goes wrong? It might, Varric said honestly. That answer made things worse. But also, it's clearer. At least he was not lying. Varric looked at every member of his crew, one by one. I will not force anyone, he said. If you want to leave, you can. No one moved. No one spoke. The silence became their answer. Varric gave a small nod. Prepare the ship, he said. The command was simple, but it changed everything. The crew slowly moved to their stations. Systems powered up. Engines warmed. The ship turned slightly in space, facing the dark region. Far away, the unknown zone waited. Silent. Still. Watching. Navigation ready, the pilot said quietly. Engines ready, another added. Communication systems unstable, the officer reported. Varric took a deep breath. Then he gave the final order. Set course for human space. The ship moved forward, slowly at first, then faster. Stars passed by like lines of light. Known space faded behind them, and ahead, only darkness. No signals. No welcome. No answers. Just the unknown. Inside the ship, no one spoke anymore, because deep down, they all felt it. They were not just entering a new region of space. They were crossing a line no one had crossed and returned from. And somewhere, inside that dark, silent region, something was waiting. The ship moved forward, slowly, carefully, like it was afraid of what was ahead. Behind them, the stars of known space still shined bright and steady. Everything there followed rules. Everything made sense. But in front of them, there was only darkness. The unknown zone. No signals. No traffic. No life signs. Just empty space. Or, at least it looked empty. Distance to border? Commander Varric asked, his voice calm but low. 30 seconds, the pilot replied. No one else spoke. The entire crew was focused on their screens, checking systems again and again, as if something might suddenly break. Long-range scanners are weak, the sensor officer said. It's like something is blocking them. Interference? Varric asked. No, the officer replied slowly. It feels controlled. That word made a few heads turn. Controlled. Not natural. Not random. Something was doing this. 10 seconds to border, the pilot said. The lights in the control room dimmed slightly. Not by command, but on their own. Did you do that? Someone asked. No, came the reply. 5 seconds. Varric stood still, his eyes locked on the main screen. 3, 2, 1. We have crossed into human space. At first, nothing happened. The ship continued forward. The stars looked the same. Space looked normal. For a moment, it almost felt like the fear had been wrong. Maybe this is all just, the pilot started. Then everything changed. The screens flickered. The navigation map glitched. The stars outside the ship shifted. Wait, the sensor officer said quickly. That star wasn't there before. What do you mean? Varric asked. I mean it just appeared. The crew stared at the screen. One star slowly faded in like it had always been there, but hidden. Then another. And another. This doesn't make sense, the officer whispered. Stars don't just appear. Unless they were hidden, Varric said quietly. A cold feeling spread through the room. Hidden by what? Someone asked. No one answered. Navigation is unstable, the pilot said. Coordinates are changing. Hold course, Varric ordered. The ship pushed deeper, further into the unknown. Then, a sound. Soft at first, like a distant signal. Picking up something, the communications officer said. It's weak, very old. Put it on, Varric said. The speakers came alive with static. Then a broken voice. Faint. Distorted. If anyone hears this, turn back. The crew froze. This is not empty space. We were wrong. Static grew louder. We thought they were hiding, but they're watching. The message cut. but then returned. Stronger this time. They are not alone. Then silence. Complete silence. That's not from our time, the officer said quietly. That signal is decades old. The lost fleet, someone whispered. Varric's face hardened. Track the signal source. Trying, the sensor officer said, fingers moving fast. Got it. It's nearby. How far? Less than 1,000 kilometers. The crew exchanged nervous looks. That's close, the pilot said. Too close. Bring us there, Varric said. The ship adjusted its direction, slowly turning, moving toward the signal. Outside, the darkness seemed thicker now, heavier, like space itself had weight. Then they saw it, a shape in the distance, broken, floating, silent. Visual confirmed, the officer said. It's a ship. As they moved closer, the details became clear. It was not human. It was one of the old exploration vessels. From the lost fleet, its surface was damaged. Not from outside attacks, but from inside. The metal looked twisted, like something had pushed outward. What could do that? The pilot whispered. No one answered. Docking possible? Varric asked. Yes, but I don't like this, the officer said. Neither do I, Varric replied. But we need answers. The ship carefully moved closer and connected to the broken vessel. A soft sound echoed as the airlocks sealed. Boarding team ready, the security officer said. I'm going, Varric said. The crew looked surprised. Commander. That's an order, he said calmly. Minutes later, Varric and his team entered the dark ship. Inside it was cold. No lights. No movement. Only silence. Their footsteps echoed through the empty halls. Life signs? Varric asked. None, came the reply. They moved deeper inside. The walls were scratched, marked, like something had tried to escape. Or get in. Over here, one of the team members said. They entered the control room. Bodies were there, still in their seats, frozen in fear. Their faces told the story. Whatever happened, it was sudden and terrifying. Access the logs, Varric said. The officer connected a device. After a few seconds, the system powered up. A final recording appeared. The room went silent as it played. The captain of the lost ship appeared on screen. His face was pale, his eyes wide. We made a mistake, he said. We entered human space, thinking they were weak, isolated. He looked behind him, as if checking something. But something followed us. The crew watching felt their hearts race. It doesn't show on scanners, it doesn't make sound. His voice dropped. But it's here. A loud noise echoed in the recording. The captain turned quickly. They are watching it, controlling it. The screen shook. Humans are not hiding, they are guarding. The message cut to black. No ending. No explanation. Just fear. Back in the present, no one spoke. Varric stood still, thinking. Guarding what? One of his team members asked quietly. Before Varric could answer, a sound echoed through the ship. Not from the recording. Not from their own ship. From outside. Low. Deep. Alive. Everyone froze. Commander, the officer whispered. That didn't come from us. Varric slowly turned toward the exit. His voice was calm, but serious. Return to the ship. Now. No one argued, because they all felt it. Something had noticed them, and whatever it was no longer hiding. The sound did not stop. It followed them. Low, deep, like something breathing in the dark. Commander Varric and his team moved fast through the broken ship. Their footsteps were no longer careful. They echoed loudly now, mixing with that strange sound. Faster, Varric said. No one argued. The lights on their suits flickered. Shadows stretched along the walls, moving in ways that did not feel natural. Is it coming from outside? One of the soldiers asked. No, another replied. It's inside. That made everything worse. They reached the airlock. Open it, Varric ordered. The door slid open slowly, too slowly. Behind them, something moved. Not clearly, not fully, just a shift in the darkness, like space itself bending. Commander, the soldier whispered, his voice shaking. Don't look back, Varric said. The team rushed through the airlock and sealed it behind them. For a second, everything went quiet. Then the sound stopped.
Just like that. Gone.
No more movement. No more presence. Only silence. Back on their ship, the crew looked at them with wide eyes. What happened? The pilot asked. Varric removed his helmet slowly.
We are leaving, he said. Now.
No one questioned him. The ship pulled away from the broken vessel. Engines powered up, but before they could jump to faster speed, the navigation system failed. Commander, we can't leave, the pilot said quickly.
Why?
Coordinates are not stable. Space itself is changing. Varric stepped closer to the main screen. Outside, the stars were shifting again. Not moving like normal, but rearranging, like a pattern. Set a new course, Varric ordered. Trying, but every route leads deeper inside the system, the pilot said. System? Varric asked. Yes, the sensor officer replied. We are no longer in open space. A map appeared on the screen. It showed a star, a single star, and one planet. How did we not see this before? Someone asked. We couldn't, Varric said quietly. It was hidden. The ship was being pulled, not by gravity alone, but by something guiding it. Can we stop? The officer asked. No, the pilot said. We are locked on a path. The crew exchanged worried looks. This is not natural, the sensor officer added. Something is controlling our movement. Varric clenched his jaw. Then let's see where it wants us to go. The ship moved closer to the star system. As they entered, everything became calm.
Too calm.
The strange distortion stopped. The system stabilized. The stars returned to normal positions. It felt like they had passed through a barrier. Everything is working again, the pilot said, confused. Scanners are clear, added the officer. And? Varric asked. The sensor officer stared at the readings. His expression changed. There's no defense fleet.
What?
No weapons. No shields. No military signals. Varric frowned. That doesn't make sense. Then the image of the planet filled the main screen. Blue oceans. White clouds. Green land. Peaceful. Beautiful. It looks alive, someone said softly. Is that Earth? Another asked. Yes, the sensor officer confirmed. Human homeworld. The room was silent. This was not what they expected. No war zone. No destroyed planets. No signs of fear. Just peace. Where are the humans? The pilot asked. Watching, Varric said. The word felt heavy, because deep down, they all felt it. They were not alone. Commander, the communications officer said suddenly. We are receiving a signal. From where? She looked up slowly. From the planet. Put it through. The room went quiet again. The screen flickered. Then a face appeared. A human. He looked calm. Normal. But his eyes, sharp, focused, aware. Unknown vessel, the human said in a steady voice. You have entered restricted space. No fear. No anger. Just control. Varric stepped forward. This is Commander Varric, he said. We come in peace. There was a short pause. The human looked at him carefully. Then he spoke again. We know. That answer surprised the crew. You know? Varric asked. Yes, the human replied. Before Varric could say anything else, the ship's warning system activated. Multiple contacts detected. The sensor officer shouted. Where? Varric asked sharply. Everywhere. The main screen changed. Dots appeared across space.
Hundreds of them.
No, thousands. Ships. Human ships. They were not there before. Not on any scanner. Not visible. But now, they surrounded Varric's ship completely. How did they hide? Someone whispered. No cloaking system is this good. Varric stared at the screen. Every ship was positioned perfectly. Not random. Not aggressive. Controlled. Strategic. They were watching us the entire time, he said quietly. Every human ship locked onto them. Weapons ready. But not firing. Waiting. The human on screen spoke again. You crossed the line, he said. His voice was still calm. But now, there was weight behind it. You ignored the warning. Varric held his ground. We needed answers. The human studied him for a moment. Then he nodded slightly. Most do not get this far, he said. Most never leave. The words sent a chill through the room. Varric took a slow breath. We found a ship, he said. An old one. From a lost fleet. The human's expression did not change. We know, he said. There was something on it, Varric continued. Something not human. Now, for the first time, the human's eyes changed. Not fear. Not surprise. Recognition. Yes, he said quietly. There was. Silence filled the room again. Varric stepped closer to the screen. What is it? He asked. The human looked at him for a long moment. Then he spoke. You are asking the wrong question. Varric frowned. Then what is the right one? The human leaned slightly forward. His voice lowered. You should be asking why we keep it out. The crew felt the meaning behind those words. Something was out there. Not on Earth. Not in this system. But close. Watching. Waiting. And suddenly, the unknown label made sense. Not as fear, but as a warning. Outside the ship, the human fleet remained still. Silent. Powerful. Like a wall. And Varric realized something important. Humans were not hiding. They were standing guard. The human fleet did not move. Hundreds of ships surrounded Commander Varric's vessel, yet none of them fired. None of them spoke again. They simply waited. The silence felt heavy, like pressure on the chest. Inside Varric's ship, no one dared to move too fast. Every screen showed the same thing, human ships, locked and ready, but still holding back. Varric stood in front of the main screen, facing the human officer. You said we are asking the wrong question, Varric said calmly. Then tell us the right one. The human looked at him for a long moment. His face was still calm, but now there was something else behind it. Care. Or maybe caution. You should ask, the human said slowly, why no one returns. The crew exchanged uneasy looks. We already know that, one officer whispered. They die. The human shook his head. No, he said. They don't. That answer froze the room. Varric narrowed his eyes. Then where do they go? The human did not reply immediately. Instead, the screen changed. A new image appeared. Deep space. Far beyond the human system. Dark. Empty. But not really. Long ago, the human began. We were like you. We explored. We searched. We wanted to understand everything. The image zoomed out, showing more space, more darkness. And then we found something. The crew leaned forward. Even the smallest detail mattered now. What did you find? Varric asked. The human's voice became lower. Not a species. Not a ship. Something older. The image shifted again. Now it showed a shape. Very far away. Hard to see. But it was moving. Slowly. Too slowly. That is not possible, the sensor officer whispered. That size. It should not exist, another said. The human nodded slightly. Yes, he said. That is what we thought. The shape moved again, like a shadow in space. No clear form. No fixed edges. Just something there. What is it? Varric asked. The human looked directly at him. We don't have a name for it, he said. But we know what it does. The image changed again. Now it showed a star system. Alive. Bright. Then slowly, the light faded. Planets went dark. Stars dimmed. Everything gone. Consumed. The crew felt a deep chill. It eats systems, someone said. Not just systems, the human replied. Everything. Silence. Heavy. Unreal. Energy, matter, signals, even time patterns. The human continued. It does not leave anything behind. Varric tried to understand. This is why you blocked your space, he asked. Yes, the human said. We were the closest. The room went still. You mean, the pilot said slowly. Yes, the human confirmed. If we did nothing, it would have reached the rest of the galaxy. The truth hit hard. Humans were not isolated. They were standing in front of something, holding it back. But how? Varric asked. That thing, it's too big. The human gave a small, tired smile. We learned. The screen changed again. Now it showed the same strange distortions Varric had seen earlier. Shifting stars, hidden systems, blocked signals. We changed space itself, the human said. We built layers, barriers, false paths. To confuse it, and to keep others away. Varric's mind raced. The unknown label, he said slowly. A warning, the human finished. And a shield. The crew looked at each other. Everything made sense now. The lost ships, the silence, the fear. They didn't die, Varric said. They were taken. The human nodded. If they go too far, yes. A deep silence filled the ship again. Then Varric asked the question that had been building inside him. Why didn't you tell the galaxy the truth? The human's expression changed slightly. Not anger, not sadness, just reality. We tried, he said, but no one listened. The crew said nothing, because they knew it was true. The galaxy feared the unknown, but it did not respect warnings. So we changed our method, the human continued. We stopped asking. We started blocking. Varric looked at the human fleet again. Now he saw it differently. Not as a threat, but as a wall. A line that should not be crossed. Then why let us in? Varric asked. The human studied him carefully. You crossed deeper than most, he said. You saw the signs. And you did not run. Varric did not respond, because he wasn't sure if that was bravery or a mistake. The human stepped closer to the screen. There is something else you need to understand, he said. The tone of his voice changed. More serious now. More urgent. That thing it learns. The room went cold. What do you mean? Varric asked. It follows patterns, the human said. Movement. Signals. Energy use. It adapts. The crew felt a new kind of fear. Not just something big, but something smart. If more ships come, the human continued, if more signals reach it, it will find a way through. Varric understood immediately. That's why you isolate this region, he said. Yes. And why no one must enter. The human nodded. Silence followed. Then Varric asked one final question. How long have you been holding it back? For the first time, the human looked tired. Not weak, but worn. A long time, he said quietly. And we are still holding. Still. That word stayed in the air, because it meant something important. They were holding, but not winning. Outside, the human fleet remained still. Strong. Silent. But now, Varric could see the truth. This was not just a defense. It was a constant fight. And for the first time since entering human space, he felt something stronger than fear. Respect. The room stayed silent for a long time. Commander Varric did not speak. His crew did not move. The truth they had just heard was too heavy. Humans were not hiding. They were fighting. Alone. Against something the rest of the galaxy did not even know existed. Varric looked again at the human officer on the screen. You've been doing this without help, he asked. The human gave a small nod. Yes. Why? One of the crew members said suddenly. Why protect a galaxy that ignored you? The question was sharp, honest, and maybe a little unfair, but the human did not react with anger. He simply answered. Because it is there, he said. The crew looked confused. The human continued. If we let it pass, everything ends. Simple words. But they carried a heavy truth. Varric stepped forward. You said it learns, he said. Then it already knows about you. Yes, the human replied. And about us? Varric asked. The human paused. For now, no, he said. You are still inside our shield. Still. Varric repeated. The human did not answer directly. Instead, he turned slightly and looked at something off-screen. Commander, the human said, his voice now more serious. We are detecting movement. Every person in Varric's ship felt it. A shift. Something changing. Show us, Varric said. The screen changed again. The same dark region appeared. But now, it was not still. The shadow they had seen before. It was closer. Much closer. That's impossible, the sensor officer said. It moved too fast. It adapts, the human replied. The shape in space twisted slowly. Not like a ship. Not like anything alive. But still aware. What triggered it? Varric asked. The human looked at him directly. You did. The words hit hard. The crew froze. Our signal? Varric asked. Yes, the human said. Your entry, your movement, your scans. You made noise. Silence. Cold. Real. Varric clenched his fists. So we let it hear. The human did not deny it. But it was already searching, he added. You only helped it focus. That did not make it better. Outside, the human fleet began to move. For the first time, ships shifted position. Lines formed. Layers built. Like a wall becoming stronger. What are they doing? One of Varric's officers asked. Preparing, the human said. For what? Varric asked. The human's answer was simple. For contact. The word felt wrong.
Too calm.
Too normal. For something like this. Can you stop it? Varric asked. The human was quiet for a moment. Not fully, he said. Then why stay? Another crew member said, fear in his voice. Why not run? The human looked at him. Because the answer mattered. Because if we run, it follows. That ended the question. No one spoke again. Because now they understood. This was not a battle you could escape. It had to be held, or everything would be lost. Commander, the sensor officer said suddenly. Energy readings are rising. Where? Everywhere. Varric turned back to the screen. Human ships were activating systems. Fields of light spread across space. Invisible lines became visible for a moment, then disappeared again. What is that? Varric asked. Barrier layers, the human said. We are strengthening them. Will it be enough? Varric asked. The human did not answer. That silence was enough. The shadow moved again. Closer. Now it was clearer. Still hard to see. But its size, it was larger than a fleet. Larger than a planet. Something that should not exist. The crew watched in fear. It doesn't look real, the pilot whispered. It isn't, the human replied. That's the problem. Suddenly, Varric's ship shook slightly. Impact, the pilot said. No, the sensor officer replied. Something touched the outer layer. The human's expression became sharper. It found the first barrier. So fast, Varric said. Yes. Another shake. Stronger this time. Second layer holding, the human said, speaking more to himself now. Energy levels? Someone asked. Dropping, another replied. The room was filling with tension. This was not a distant threat anymore. It was here. Testing. Pushing. Learning. Commander, one of Varric's officers said quietly. We should leave. Varric did not answer immediately. He was watching the human ships. Watching how they moved. How they stayed in position. How none of them turned away. Even now. Even facing that thing. They're not running, Varric said softly. No, the human replied. We don't. Another impact. Stronger. This time, lights flickered across all screens. Third layer weakening, the human said. His calm voice was still there. But now, there was pressure behind it. How many layers do you have? Varric asked. Enough, the human replied. But it did not sound certain. The shadow pushed again. And this time, something changed. A part of it moved forward. Stretching. Reaching. Like it had found something interesting. What is it doing? The pilot asked. The human looked directly at Varric. It found you. The room went silent. Cold fear spread through the crew. Lock all signals, the human ordered. Shut down external emissions now. Varric turned instantly. Do it. Systems powered down. Signals cut. Everything went quiet. The ship became still. Hidden. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the shadow stopped moving. Just for a second. As if thinking. As if deciding. The crew held their breath. No one moved. No one spoke. Then slowly, the shadow pulled back, returning to the barrier. The human fleet did not relax. Not even a little. It lost the signal, the human said quietly. For now. The words stayed in the air. Heavy. Unfinished. Varric exhaled slowly. That thing, it almost saw us, he said. Yes, the human replied. And next time, he did not finish the sentence.
He didn't need to.
Because everyone already knew. Next time, it might not stop. Outside, the barrier still held. But just barely. And for the first time, the crew understood something clearly. This was not just a warning zone. This was the edge of something far worse. And they were standing right in front of it. The silence after the retreat felt strange. Not peaceful. Not safe. Just temporary. Commander Varric stood still, eyes fixed on the screen. The dark shape had moved back, but it was still there. Still close. Still watching. Waiting. The human fleet did not move away. If anything, they became even more still, like soldiers holding their ground. Is it gone? One of the crew members asked quietly. The human officer shook his head. No, he said. It never leaves. The words felt heavy, like a truth that had been repeated too many times. Varric folded his arms, thinking. You've been doing this alone for so long, he said, holding it back. Yes. And the galaxy, Varric paused, choosing his words, did nothing. The human did not reply. He didn't need to. Everyone already knew the answer. Varric turned and looked at his crew. Their faces showed fear, confusion, but also something else now. Understanding. We didn't know, the pilot said softly. No, the human replied. You didn't. Another silence filled the room. But this time, it felt different. Less fear. More thought. Varric stepped closer to the screen again. What happens if the barrier fails? He asked. The human looked at him directly. It won't fail, he said. It was not a guess. Not hope. It was a decision. Varric narrowed his eyes slightly. That's not what I ask. The human held his gaze for a moment. Then he answered. If it fails, there will be no second chance. The meaning was clear. No escape. No fight. No galaxy. Just end. The crew felt it again. That deep, cold fear. But this time, something else stood beside it. Respect. For the ones who had been standing here all this time. Fighting. Without reward. Without help. Why didn't you ask again? Varric said. Why not warn the galaxy one more time? The human gave a small, tired smile. We are warning you now. Varric looked at him carefully. Yes, he said slowly. You are. Outside the ship, the human fleet adjusted slightly. Not in panic. Not in fear. But with quiet precision. Barrier stability. Another human voice said faintly in the background. 70% holding, someone replied. The fight was still happening. Even now. Even during this conversation. Varric took a deep breath. Then he made a decision. We can help, he said. The room went still. Even his own crew looked surprised. The human officer's expression did not change. But his eyes sharpened. How? He asked. Varric turned slightly, looking at his crew. Then back at the human. We can carry your message, he said. To the High Council. To the entire galaxy. The human was quiet, thinking. That may not be enough, he said. It's a start, Varric replied. Silence again. But this time it felt like a choice. Not fear. Not confusion. A decision. You risk bringing attention, the human said. More ships. More signals. Varric nodded. Yes. And if they don't listen again? Varric gave a small, firm smile. Then we make them listen. The human studied him for a long moment. Then slowly, he nodded. Very well, he said. Outside, the shadow moved again. A small shift. A reminder. Time was not unlimited. Commander, the human continued, you must leave now. Varric did not argue. He understood. Staying longer would only make things worse. Will we be able to cross the barrier? He asked. Yes, the human replied. We will guide you out. The word guide felt strange. For something so dangerous. But also reassuring. Prepare for departure, Varric ordered. His crew moved quickly. Systems powered back on. Navigation reset. Route confirmed, the pilot said. We have a path. A safe path, the human added. Outside, human ships began to move. Not to attack, but to open a way. A narrow line through the invisible layers. A path through controlled space. Follow exactly, the human warned. Do not deviate. We won't, Varric said. The ship started moving. Slowly at first, then forward, through the human fleet. As they passed, Varric looked out at the ships. So many, so silent, so strong. Each one holding the line. Each one part of something bigger. Not a hidden empire, not a secret force, but a shield. A wall between the galaxy and something it could not face. Commander, the pilot said softly. We are approaching the outer layer. Maintain course, Varric replied. The stars began to shift again. Distortions returned. Space itself bending around them. Stay focused, Varric said. The ship moved through the final barrier. And then, everything stopped. The stars returned to normal. Signals came back. Systems stabilized. They were out, back in known space. The unknown zone was behind them, silent once again. The crew let out quiet breaths. Some sat back in their seats. Others simply stared forward, processing everything. Varric remained standing, looking at the map. That same dark region, still marked. Unknown. But now he knew the truth. It was not unknown. It was protected, guarded, holding something back. Set course for the High Council, Varric said. Yes, Commander. The ship turned, moving away, but not forgetting. Behind them, the line still held. Humans were still there, fighting, watching, standing between everything and the end. And now, they would not be alone.